My friends, Derek here from B.O.M Socks with another round of BOM-BITES where we feast upon the words of Christ one bite at a time. So I want to share something kind of different with you today. I want to share with you, because we talked about the dedication of the Kirtland Temple yesterday and how just this whole week, how just it's been such a spiritual experience for individuals. That temple, it is the very first temple in this dispensation. And so it's got some wonderful spirit there. Even today, when you go to that temple, even though it is not currently owned by our faith, there's still some great experiences there. In fact, one I want to share with you, and I thought it was kind of cool. It's this little picture right here. So here's Elder Ballard with a gentleman by the name of Carl Anderson, and I'm very fortunate to be able to call Carl a friend. He is Mr. Kirtland. He is a seminary and institute coordinator over there years ago, and he is just taken up there and he's lived there. He is such an asset to the church with regards to being in Kirtland, Ohio. In fact, Carl wrote a book a few years ago. It's called The Savior in Kirtland. If you don't have a chance to pick this up, I'd recommend picking it up. It's a fantastic book, and there's some wonderful experiences where it talks about how the Savior himself has spent a lot of time in Kirtland, Ohio, particularly surrounding that experience with the temple. There's a cool little story here. So November the 6th of 1993, there was a cool experience that took place here that I just want to read to you from Carl's book. And it's just in the appendix with regards to just some evidence that the Lord is still very much aware of the Kirtland Temple. So it says, on November the 6th of 1993, Elder M. Russell Ballard stood in the elevated Melchizedek priesthood pulpits of the Kirtland Temple to preside over an exceptional sacrament service. About 180 church leaders, including general authorities, regional representatives, mission presidents, temple presidents, and stake presidents attended. So these leaders and their wives had to come together to attend a training meeting. So the Lord poured out his Spirit in this sacrament meeting in a never-to-be-forgotten way. Many present likened it to what it must have been like at the Kirtland Temple dedication in 1836. This was the first sacrament meeting in possibly 140 years that LDS church leaders had been allowed to conduct in the Kirtland Temple. Elder Ballard, Elder Creel Coford passed the sacrament, assisted by others, including all general authorities present. They then passed it to the congregation. People who were in that meeting had frequently made such comments as the following: "There was a great spiritual power that I felt in that meeting. It was the most spiritual meeting I ever attended. There was not a dry eye in the audience. It was a meeting I will never forget. I had a spiritual experience in that meeting. I received a personal manifestation there. We heard angels singing. I recorded what I saw and heard. Whenever I meet others who were there, we reminisce about this meeting. I am one that has never had this kind of experience, but I did this time." So Al Walters, who was a representative of the Community of Christ who was present, he said, "It was obvious that everyone was experiencing a great outpouring of the Spirit." Elder Ballard said, "Deep spiritual feelings were felt by everyone." Elder Coford added, "It was a tremendous spiritual experience." Elder Rex D. Penniger stated that they were so strongly affected that we were almost unable to speak or sing, although the opportunity was afforded us. Elder Yoshihiko Kikuchi remembered, "We, the general authorities, sat possibly right beneath the spot where the Savior appeared to Joseph and Oliver." So Al Walters, this again, a representative of the Community of Christ, reported his crowning spiritual experience. Before this meeting, he had strongly objected to the LDS church leaders being given permission to minister and partake of the sacrament in the temple. His objection was based on the fact that the Community of Christ was a closed communion church, meaning that non-members were not offered the sacrament during services. He told his church leaders, "The LDS have temples of their own. Let them go to one of their temples to partake of the sacrament. Why do they come to our temple?" Community of Christ leaders had given formal permission, so they asked Al to support their decision. They also assigned him to attend the meeting. As the meeting progressed, Al felt a dark cloud come over him. He even became physically ill. As the meeting progressed, the dark feeling intensified. It reached a point that his head and heart were pounding so hard that he felt like he might be having a heart attack. At that point, Elder Kikuchi stood up to speak. Al felt the Spirit come over him. An audible voice that only he heard made three statements. "Alan, this is not your temple. This is mine. These are also my saints. This is an acceptable use of this sacred space." Walters called this experience a spiritual spanking and felt that the Savior had spoken to him directly. He then humbled himself and shared with the rest the wonderful spirit of that occasion. Later, Al said that the Savior had completely changed his attitude. Others in attendance were blessed with their own spiritual experiences. If journal entries of that day were to be made public, many would certify to the thinness of the veil. When the full history of Kirtland is written, the Temple Sacrament service on November 6th of 1993, under the direction of an apostle of the Lord, Lord, Elder Ballard, and a direct descendant of Hiram Smith, will undoubtedly be marked as one of its spiritual high points. And so if you've had a chance to be able to attend the Kirtland Temple, there is a still to this day, a great spirit in that building. This is still the house of the Lord. It has never been undedicated. And that's what's cool about this. You still walk in, even though it's under different direction, it's still a great place to go. And hopefully you get a chance to see that someday. So anyway, hope that helps you out. Hope that's something that benefited you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And thank you for sharing these messages. Please go check out our amazing gospel themed socks at bombsocks.com. And we will see you tomorrow. Godspeed. Bye-bye.